June 26, 2019. Well, 2 nights ago I finally got the third planting of sweet corn in here, along with the third planting of squash. I got to go back and get sunflowers in here still. Haven't done that yet. I did put down some sweet clover cover crops in the end of the block over here, and this block edge over here. And then, like I said before in other videos, sunflowers will go in between the blocks. There's 5 rows of Bodacious Sweet Corn up here, 5 rows of double standard down here, just like over here, except there's only 4 rows of Bodacious here and only 4 rows of Bodacious down there. But other than that, it's basically the same layout. And so I guess we should walk down and have a look at this second planting of corn. These had their 9-day foliar feed. Actually, I was a day late. I did it on day 10. Day 9, I just didn't get around to it. Anyway, they got caught inside their first critical point of influence window for the most part. Hopefully, I didn't get too late on that. But they're doing well. They're starting to take off. Some of the squash are up in here, and some are slow to germinate, and some didn't germinate. And so when I did the planting the other day, I went back and replanted in between here just to make sure that this whole block is full of squash for the season. Those are Delicata honeyboat squash. I got those down from Phantom Gardener last year, grew them out and saved their seed, and now this year that's my seed. So first year of high nutrition on those. And then this is the first planting of sweet corn and squash. These squash are the ones that were started in the greenhouse back in, I don't know, what was it, April? Maybe early May. They're doing well. You can see they're starting to set good vines and flowers. I obviously have to get back in here and do some more weeding. If you look closely, you can actually see some nasturtium coming up in amongst those weeds as well. Like right there. So those are taken off. And then there's a row of borage down the middle. That's the wide leaf thing right there. There's a row of that down there. So I'll come in and do some weeding, maybe some mulching. I did put down buckwheat seed in here as a planting, but that seed was old or just didn't germinate well. And I'm probably not going to replant at this point since the corn is getting pretty well established. Anyway, these have had foliar drenches and inoculants right from the beginning. And every critical point of influence so far, we've been through 2, the day 9 and the day 18. It foliar feeds there, and then every 7 days in between in conjunction with the other crops here on the farm. So they've been attended to real well. I'm hoping to get more than 2 ears per plant as a result, but we'll see. It really comes down to both soil health and biology, as well as targeted foliar feeds. I do find it interesting that the double standard sweet corn from Johnny's does not seem to be as vigorous as the F1 hybrid Bodacious. The Johnny's stuff is grown organically, and this stuff, as far as I know, is grown in standard agronomy. It's standard chemical fertilizers and that sort of thing. And it's interesting that they were able to produce much more vigorous seed, much more uniform seed. Of course, that is one aspect of an F1. This is an open pollinated heirloom variety, but you can see that some of these plants, you can tell that the seed for these plants was not all that vigorous. And you might say, okay, maybe it's just the soil and just this plot, you know, maybe it's because you're on this side of the plot and that side of the plot's better. But when you get up here and you compare this one and that one, and it's the same thing again, and I'm sure we'll see it again replicated in the third planting, and if I have enough Bodacious sweet corn for more in the fourth planting, you'll see it again there, then you know that it's seed quality. So that's something to consider, you know. While I'm all for the organic standard, it's really not enough. It doesn't say that crops have to be up to nutritional standards for regenerative agriculture or for good human health or animal health. And ultimately, it's really just about getting a certification that really doesn't mean anything, because you can spray Roundup and glyphosate and all sorts of herbicides and pesticides, and if you wait 3 years, now suddenly you can magically call that land organic. And it's not. I can go on all day about pesticides, but they have very long half-lives, and You think in 3 years it's gone. You're wrong. It's still there. And that means that the organic standard really doesn't have a tremendous amount of value. So anyway, just a comment on seed quality, organics, critical points of influence on sweet corn, and that sort of thing. Looks like we have a potato plant that survived from a couple of years ago here in the ground, and we got the Colorado potato bug on it. That's interesting. Anyway, just thought I would give a quick update on the sweet corn. I've been meaning to get out here and get a shot of it before it got out ahead of me, and we'll continue to do updates on this through the season. I hope you found this interesting or informative. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to do so down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that's your thing. And thanks for watching the Farmacy Seeds Network.